Recently in Australia, we have had some tragic times. We've had some severe flooding, which have left many families broken, homeless, and suffering. And the community, the Australian public, they got together and they did a fundraiser. They've raised millions of dollars for these families, these unfortunate families. And it brought to a realization for me about how our communities, our cultures, how humans work. And this is not to take away from the help that people have given to those in need, but it's also to create awareness that people only give help to things that they actually see, they physically see or are shown. The media will show how severe it is. There will be people all over talking about how severe it is. It is in the world. It is spoken about. It is known of. And it is in your face. So people are like, oh shit, this is a problem that exists right now, currently. So let's deal with it. Let's raise money. Let's fund for it. Let's help all these people. And it's a great act of goodness from the heart, people reaching out and helping. And it all stemmed from the higher powers, the social media platforms, the TV networks, the famous, the media, the musicians, the artists that have collaborated, and they came together and they raised over $25 million or whatnot for those victims. And they banded together, united. And it showed me the power of people uniting to help to a common cause. But it showed me that people are only willing to help something that they can see in their face, that it affects them directly, that is being shown to them over and over and over again. Every single day on the news, we heard about the floods. Every single day on the news, we saw the devastation. We saw people posting about their houses being lost, their lives being lost, their well-being, their livelihood all being taken away. Every day it was in their face. So then I realized, why don't people help when it comes to things like child sexual abuse, sex trafficking, any child abuse, domestic violence, anything of these darker natures where humans were the ones who created the problem, not nature, humans created the problem. And I realize it's not in your face. You don't see it all the time. You don't get shown it. The media choose not to show it because it's quite dark, it's quite sinister, it's quite evil, and it was created by man. Nature did its devastation and we saw it. Man creates devastation and we only see what the media wants us to see. We only see what the world wants us to see. We don't see the truth. You don't hear the real stories. And it frustrated the shit out of me. I'm like, these guys created overnight an instant, platform to help the public and the population who are in devastation, who need money to build their houses. And little do we know how much actually goes to these people, these funds and these charities. That's another story. And I'm like, $25 million raised for all these. And what about those who've been suffering for so many years? What about those organizations or those people, those individuals trying to reach out and help the real pandemics that have existed for so long? Do you want to see the images of children being raped or molested? Do you want to see the content of the dark web? Do you need to see that to actually know it exists? Do you want to hear the darkness of my story for you to realize you should bloody reach out and put it out there and help people? It sickens me to the stomach that people really don't believe or are so naive to the truth of what exists out there. The hardship and the suffering that victims go through day in and day out because no one puts it up there. No one posts about it. No one wants to talk about it. No one wants to see it. And you don't need to see it to understand it's horrendous. To understand that abusing a child, molesting a child, raping a child, taking away a child's innocence is disgusting, is devastating. And it is a pandemic that has existed for so long. It is so unspoken of. Yet 1 in 3 girls and 1 in 6 boys are sexually abused. That could be molested, raped, anything from incest, any of these things that you could not fathom. These exist. And I wanted to bring it back to the attention of, because it's not in your face, it's not spoken of. But then when it is spoken of, people want to be naive to it and they want to shut the door and close their eyes and be blinded to it. Is that because you know someone who is? You maybe are one, maybe you've seen it, maybe you've heard it, or maybe you are a victim and you want to ignore it. But if we ignore it, we can't help anyone. And I want to call bullshit on all of those people out there who want to help the world, but really don't want to help. They want to help where it's easy, where it's comforting, where it's an easy process and it doesn't have to be so harsh in the reality of what you have to accept exists. If you are going to help, you need to accept that this problem exists. So it was easy for people to help the flooding devastation because they could accept that it existed. They saw the footage. They saw live footage of houses being flooded, people on the top of their roofs. And I feel so sorry for all those who have suffered. And I am so proud that our community can band together and do this to help people. But I'm so disgusted our community can't band together and do this for such a pandemic that exists of child sexual abuse, for any abuse, as a matter of fact, from domestic violence to any victims of rape and abuse, and to the most innocent, our children. And I ask you why you won't post about it, why you won't reshare, why you won't put your money towards a cause like that, or seek out people that are doing the right by the world, that are trying to make the change. Why you won't stand up when someone actually says, I feel like something's gone wrong, and you won't try and seek out justice or seek out to help them. Or why you will question the victim so much, but you won't question the predator. I'm sick of it. And I ask you to stop the fucking bullshit, to actually start to make change, at least by educating yourself about the reality of what exists out there. The truth is, there is so much information out there, but there's so much factual education, but there is no fucking conversation. No one wants to talk about it. So grow a pair. Actually stand up. Listen to the truth that's existed out there. If you're willing to listen to what's out on the media and on the news about the victims and those who are suffering and all, well, go and actually look at what's really existed for so many years and what those who are victims have spoken out about for so many years before this. And actually make some change. Actually stand up. Maybe by taking one step of just posting something, resharing some real facts, helping support a charity or a cause, you can actually make some change that way. But turning a blind eye and helping out a cause that is only in your face is you being weak and you being naive and making these problems worse. So yeah, I'm going to call you out. I'm going to say, hey, take a stand up, actually make some change. And educate yourself on the shit that really exists in the world, not the things that are just in your face. Some of the worst problems are hidden and are secretive and are so silenced because of how devastating and how traumatic they really are. So do you really know what's going on in this world? I bet not. Maybe do some research.